From the Gonzo Today newsroom, this is Memos from the National Affairs Desk. Presented by Gonzo Today. www.gonzotoday.com. The weird have just turned pro.
Well, hello, greetings, my very lovely brothers and sisters. Welcome to this special edition of Gonzo Today's Memos from the National Affairs Desk. And I'm your host, Dr. Furious Higgison. This week, we take a look back at the concert heard round the world, Woodstock 1969. A concert that feels like it's still going on somehow. You know, it is said the vibrations created that weekend in that tiny little hamlet of White Lake near Bethel, New York still resonate to this day. But of course, history has shown us that Max Yasgur's farm became the very concentrated, powerful, yet brief center of the universe for the mass counterculture of that era. You know, there's an old saying that if you remember the 1960s, chances are you weren't alive then. You know, although it is a funny little quip, and certainly is clever at striking at the stereotypical chemical excesses enjoyed by many at the time, as they do today. People love their chemicals, their pills and whatnots, and coffees and Red Bulls and yada yada. Even though it's supposed to be funny, I also think a small portion of it rings true. Many of us who weren't alive during the 1960s have some sort of weird, vague, collective memory of the thing. An indelible imprint left on generations to come. So, hey, enough of me talking. How about we just go to the scene?
Okay. Okay, people, we got a times. Okay. On the front page, you have on the left a very big aerial photo of a huge mass of people, which are you. And it says, music was the magic for throngs at Woodstock Music and Art Fair. Towers near the stage hold loudspeakers. 300,000 at Folk Rock Fair camp out in the sea of mud. Dig it. Wait a second, I'm doing this.
Hey, and that's what happens when you keep Jefferson Airplane up all night, right? There's the song Volunteers. It's off the 1969 Cotillion LP, Woodstock 1969, the soundtrack from the movie. You know, I was born in the late 70s, around, the time disco was really picking up. So, of course, I don't know too much as far as, like, personal experience from the 1960s. But I can tell you this. My mom told me one time that her and my dad went and seen the movie Woodstock at the theater in the tiny little town that we lived in when it first came out. And she mentioned to me that she was fairly embarrassed during the scene when the people were bathing in the lake, and there was standards were different then, right? I don't know if it was the overly hirsute men and women pulling gigantic burrs and bugs out of themselves in the lake that really upset her, or the fact that, hey, they may have been having a great time that she may have never experienced. That's right. You got to get out there, Mom. Go find some hippies, get naked, hop in the lake. It'll change you. It'll change you forever. Don't look now. You got some sha-na-na on your face.
Ladies and gentlemen, sha-na-na. Harold, turn up the mic.
Bethel, New York, August 16th. Despite massive traffic jams, drenching thunderstorms, shortages of food, water, medical facilities, about 300,000 young people swarmed over this rural area today for the Woodstock Music and Art Fair. The prospect of drugs and the excitement of making the scene, the young people came in droves, camping in the woods, romping in the mud, talking, smoking, and listening to wailing music. Quote, participants well behaved, the crowd, which camped on the 600-acre farm of Max Yasger near here for the past 2 days, was well behaved according to both the sponsors and the police, even though about 75 persons in the area were arrested, mostly on possessing narcotics. Bummer.
As a child of Generation X, I grew up during what I consider would be a weird time in history. It was a weird period of transition. The world was changing from an old one to a new one. The digital age was on the rise. Everybody was getting computers and playing Oregon Trail. Everything smelled of plastic. You know that smell, like Scotch tape, that smell? I remember I was probably about 13 years old. I got to experience the film Woodstock on Cinemax late one night. I noticed the people were covered with muck and filth and mud. Some had lost their clothing. Apparently, they just, I don't know, they misplaced it somewhere. You know, they're passing the drinking gourd around, and next thing they know, they were naked. I don't know. But it was weird, you know, throngs of people from all walks. I mean, there's a scene in the movie, you know, where the two nuns walk by and give the old peace sign. So we had nuns. There were some nuns there checking out things and seeing what was going on. It seemed like everybody in the movie had that same kind of smile. Everybody had faith to spare. It was a vast ocean. If you've seen, you know, I'm sure you have. You're cool. You've seen Woodstock. I know you have. A vast ocean of that many people who all, you know, smiling. The same goal of being a community that embraced an evolution in human consciousness. Of being a culture of art, music, and pure creation. You know, and this is a time when artists truly live their art. They would starve, literally starve for it. And maybe sometimes they'd lose their clothes. It happens. I was just beginning to be a teenager. In that age, I could see just around the world that we had already strayed so far from that hopeful collective balance of harmony and the reality maybe of a dream of a world where maybe it could be all right and everybody could get along, right? Where everybody had that same sort of smile on their face and there was music in the background everywhere you went. And everybody was being nice. Now, I know I sound naive, but hey, this is my show, damn it. I can be naive if I want to. What's wrong with peace, love, and understanding? What did they do there at Woodstock that weekend that we've seemed to have forgotten about now? Those lessons that could have served us now more than ever, for fuck's sake. Maybe my generation, we had our fate sealed after the fantastically moronic events of Woodstock 1999, you know. When you think about it, I guess, in every generation, no one is innocent from the sins of their peers. You know, we're going to be talking to some, you know, George W. Bush voters in about 30 years, and I know, he's not president anymore, it's not relevant. But he sort of is. And this still is relevant, too, because we're sort of in that same kind of climactic, you know, pinnacle part of our existence. You know, where it seems like everything's just set to blow up. Everything seems like it's about to be on fire. Everything's electric. Everybody's pissed. Everybody's easily offended, or, you know, it just... That's what I'm driving at here. They did it for 3 days in August of 1969 up in old New York there, where everybody got together, and, you know, we had some people, you know, of course, there were some births. You know, I'm sure there was a couple of deaths, but, you know, such is the world, such is life. That was like a microcosm of how things could have maybe worked. Of course, I would have been sporting, you know, the antiperspirants and deodorants, you know what I'm talking about, as well as had the peace and love and harmony stuff. I don't know. It's me. I'm self-conscious about BO. I don't know about you. You mentioned it to me one time. So, why have we strayed so far from that message? So, here is Swami Satchidananda offering a message of hope with the invocation of the festival. You're listening to Gonzo Today's Memos from the National Affairs Desk.
America leads the whole world in several ways. Very recently, when I was in the East, the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi met me and asked me what's happening in America. And I said, America is becoming a whole. America is helping everybody in the material field, but the time has come for America to help the whole world with spirituality also.
The roads are fairly clear now, so if any of you decided that you've had enough music and you get a little tired, yeah, there may be one or two. You can get buses out of Monticello. Everything's cool. Everything's very cool all the way around.
a dream last night. What a lovely dream it was. I dreamed we all were all right, happy in a land of ours. Why did everybody laugh when I told them my dream? I guess they all were so far from that kind of scene, feeling mean. I heard a song last night. What a lovely song it was. I thought I'd hum it all night. Unforgettable because all of the players were playing together, and all of the heavies were light as a feather. All I'll remember is a feeling tomorrow, but as I recall, the rest will just follow. I had a dream last night. What a lovely dream it was. I dreamed we all were all right, happy in a land of ours. What a lovely dream it was.
It says other things here, man, like our shortages of water, how cars are lined up for about 20 miles and huge traffic jams and all this other good shit. All in all, man, it says that you've been pretty groovy, man, and you've been doing a groovy scene out here. And we gotta thank you for it. You're being very beautiful. You're making this show. Yeah, give this man back his paper, please.
All right, yeah, please. Give that guy back his paper. Yeah, he really wants that paper back. Hey, this has been a look back at Woodstock 1969. It's a brief look. I could go on for hours and hours, believe me. You don't want that, because I could, really. People who know me are now going, yes, he could. So I hope you enjoyed this brief look, and join us here again next week for Gonzo Today's Memos from the National Affairs Desk. You can see us on the web at gonzotoday.com. You can see us on Facebook, and we're also on the Twitter, tweeting away on the Twitter. Gonzo Today and Memos from the National Affairs Desk, copyright 2015. I've been your host, Dr. Furious Hickerson. I'm going to leave you right now with something a little bit more high gear, if you know what I mean, huh? You know what I mean? All right, see you later. Hey, peace and love, guys. Peace and love.
Circles over the city.